Hey guys, how's it going? Sifu Adalik here, Master Instructor at Holistic Kung Fu Online, Niagara Kung Fu Academy. And I was just finishing my training session with my rope dart today, and it gave me an idea of a couple things I wanted to talk about. Mainly focus. If you haven't seen this weapon before, it's pretty awesome. Just dart on the end of a rope, throw it around. And it can be, I'll put some, if you're not watching right now, but later, if you're watching this later, I'll splice some footage in so you can see how it works. Pretty cool. But the weapon is pretty awesome. It's crazy, it's fast, it's a rope with a dart on it. It's a rope dart. But it moves around so quick, and it can be so sporadic. It's not rigid, so it has, it's not in any defined position. And it can move quite randomly and uncontrollably. And I thought about the focus that you need to train the weapon. And it's not exclusive to that weapon. It's exclusive to, of course, like most things in holistic kung fu, it's not exclusive to how you train your body, right? It applies to everything, how you train your life. And so this weapon, I was thinking about focus and what that means. As not, in kung fu, it means you got to keep your eyes on what you're doing. You got to keep your body in the right position. You got to keep your mind focus on exactly what you're doing, especially when you're training a weapon like this, because if you get distracted for a second, you'll whip it around and take out your own knees or knock yourself out. So focus is really important. But as far as designing your life and your reality, focus is about getting clear. So think about when how do you focus? When you're looking through a camera, focus means if things are unfocused, they look blurry, right? And once things focus, then you have a clear picture of what you're looking at. And it's the same thing when it comes to our goals, what we're trying to accomplish, or how we're trying to better ourselves, how we're trying to cultivate, a fulfilling life. And in order to do that, we need to have clarity. So this is an exercise that I like to take some of my students through when I work with them personally, because we know that, say, this year, if we're setting goals for this year, and hopefully you're not just setting goals for this new year, but the next year, the year after that, like I talked about in my last video, hopefully you're setting, long-term goals. But in order to do that, in order to keep towards those goals, we have to keep focused, okay? And focus just means being really clear. Because as humans, we will tend to do whatever brings us pleasure or whatever we have to do to avoid pain, right? Those two things. So when we're moving on a path of accomplishing something, we're typically moving away from, hey, how's it going? Comment below if you have any questions, or just say hi or anything if you're watching. But as you're moving away from pain and you're moving towards pleasure, that's a type of focus. And if we get unfocused, we forget about that very simple path, and we start thinking about other things and other distractions and things like that. We become unfocused. So in order to keep focus, we need to be clear on what we're moving away from and what we're moving towards, right? Just like the rope dart moves away from your hand, it moves towards the target. And even though this can be a sporadic thing, if it knows where it started and where it's going and has a clear picture, it's going to go in a pretty straight path. And you're the same way, right? You're trying to accomplish goals right now. You're trying to accomplish something, and you're having a hard time because you're getting distracted with all the noise that's around you, right? Well, if we want to be clear, if we want to have a clear path and clear direction, we've got to clearly identify what we're moving away from and what we're moving towards. Okay, so for example, if one of the issues you're having is you want to be getting in a little bit better shape because you're spending a lot of time on sitting at your desk because everything is if you're in school, it's all digital, you're at your desk all day. If you're working from home, you're at your desk, you're not moving a lot, and your back is starting to hurt, your knees are starting to hurt from lack of movement. Okay, so that brings you pain, and you like to do something about it, right? You like to get in better shape. Okay, well, that on its own isn't a very motivating direction. It's kind of general, like, kind of get in shape, and right now we're kind of not in that great shape. We have to get really clear on what pain we're moving away from and what pleasure we're moving toward. And the clearer you get on those things, the more you're going to focus, and you're going to kind of drown out all that noise that's going on around you, right? So, and you won't get caught up so much on the details that are not so important. When we focus clearly on the goal and what we're moving away from, all the details in between that we normally get all caught up on, they tend to get a little quieter, right? And we're not going to be distracted by them so much. So for example, we're in a position where our knees are sore and our back is sore, and that's bringing us pain. Okay, well, if you want to get clear on where you want to go, we want to get a clear picture of what this pain means, okay? And not the pain itself, but the pain of the pain of the pain. Okay, so having this pain, and whatever it is, whether you're not making enough money, maybe you're not fit enough, maybe you're not healthy enough, maybe you're not confident enough, maybe you're not disciplined enough, whatever it is, we got to take that problem and we got to look at it. It's like Jack Sparrow says, your problem's not the problem is your attitude about the problem. We got to look at that a little bit closer. So what is the problem with this problem? If your knees are sore and your back is hurting, because lack of movement, well, you got to dig a little bit deeper into that. What is that preventing you from doing? What pain is that causing? Well, hurts my back. Okay, well, that's the sub-level, that's like the regular level pain. We got to get below that. So what's the problem with your back hurting and your knees being sore? What's the problem with that? Well, it caused me discomfort. Okay, what's the problem with that? Well, it hurts. So what's the problem with that? What is that preventing you from doing? Oh, well, I used to go dancing on Friday night with my wife. And now we can't do that because my back hurts and my knees hurt and I just can't get moving. Okay, there you go. So now you understand the problem with the problem. Okay, so that can be a little more motivating to get out of rather than just, I don't like the pain. Because we can take quite a bit of pain and discomfort. Your back hurts, it's going to take you a lot before you can get up off of that. But if you make that pain a little bit greater and you tie more of an emotion to it, you're going to feel much more motivated to get out of that situation. So the example was, back hurts. Okay, what's the problem with that problem? Well, you can't go dancing with your wife on Friday like you used to. Okay, well, what's the problem with that problem? Well, now our relationship is kind of a struggle because we don't do fun things together. All we do is we just get up, we go to work, we pay bills, we come home, we watch TV until we fall asleep. Well, that's not a very good relationship, right? Eventually that's gonna fall apart because you're not actually enjoying each other's company. Okay, so there you've got a problem with a problem with a problem. So if you're trying to get away from a situation, you need to think not just what the problem is, but what the problem with that problem is and what the problem with that problem is to get yourself a little more motivated to do it. Okay, now once we've defined that problem, now we got to go look at what's the solution, right? Let's start out with the solution, what the goal is. So the goal is, well, I want to get unstuck and I want to get out of pain. I want to be moving again so my back's not hurt and my knees aren't aching all the time and I'm being a little more healthy. Okay, so that's pretty good. I mean, everyone would like that. So what's the benefit of that? Well, I'll feel better, I won't feel pain. Okay, what's the benefit to that benefit? Oh, well, I'll be able to go out and dance again on Friday night with my wife. Okay, that's pretty good. What's the benefit to that benefit? Oh, well, then we're going to have something fun to do. We're going to be happy. We're going to enjoy each other's company like we did, way back when we first got married. Okay, and that's going to make you happier, right? Yeah, definitely. We're going to have much more positive outlook. We're not going to be, getting depressed all the time. We're out moving. We're having fun. Okay, so now you've got the benefit of the benefit of the benefit. And over here, you've got the problem with the problem with the problem. So you see how that is more motivating than just like, well, I kind of don't like the way my back hurts all the time. I kind of want to move a little bit more. You see how that's different? So if you're gonna set goals for yourself this year, okay, then don't just set a goal like something general. Okay, define what you're moving away from and what you're going to. And you can sketch this out right now. Get a notebook, if you're still watching, right? And grab a pen and define what problem you want to get away from this next year. And what's the problem with that problem? What is that causing you? Okay, and what's that problem causing you? And then think of the solution, where you want to get to. Okay, I want to be unstuck and out of pain. Well, what's the benefit of that? What's the benefit of that? So once you emotionally connect with these things, you're going to be much more motivated to keep on this path and not give up on your goals. Because this simple goal of, well, I want to get up and move, my back doesn't hurt, that's not really that powerful and motivating of a goal. And if you don't have enough desire to do it, you're not going to take the action steps that need to be done in order to achieve that goal. Okay. And I'm going to talk more about this on Saturday. So I'm hosting a goal-setting workshop that's going to use some of these principles and more to help you have a really good action plan for what you will want to accomplish in not only 2021, but 2022 and 2023 and so far and so on, right? Not just looking at short-term goals, but long-term goals. Because, like I said in my last video, the longer we can stretch out a time perspective, the much more we can accomplish, okay? So if you want to join me for that workshop, it's going to be this Saturday, January 2nd, 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to be added to that, just send me a message or a comment below and I'll message you and send you the details. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you later.